Hello, my name is Brandon, and this is the newest episode of Beard, Bald, Bipolar, and the Boss. My name is Brandon Croucher, and I thank you for joining me today. So, it's Labor Day, and I always thought Labor Day was an interesting holiday. From the people that are off for this day, that get the day off, to the people that are working. Like, this is the day for the laborers to be off of work. Yet, we still see most of the labor jobs being the ones that were working. We still want to make sure our restaurants are open, our grocery stores are full, and the laborers that do the building and the manufacturing and stuff. I drove by the Ford plant today. They were actually doing business. They were actually building and assembling. But my thing was, I wanted to know more about Labor Day. I wanted to understand it a little bit better, because I think it's interesting how this is a holiday that's built on the laborers, that's supposed to be a day off for laborers, that ends up being something they're working, and they're working for everybody else, that just feels off. Why are we celebrating a day where we're really not getting off the people that are doing heavy labor? Then I started looking into it, and I went to the actual United States Department of Labor Union, or U.S. Department of Labor, and it's a government registered site. It's .gov. What is interesting about this is it observes the first Monday in September. Labor Day is an annual celebration of social and economic achievements of the American workers, something to be proud of. The holiday is rooted in the late 19th century, when labor activists pushed for federal holiday to recognize the many contributions workers have made to the American strength, prosperity, and well-being. So it's a day that's meant to be parades, everybody outside being together, celebrating, where everybody has a day of making us proud to be who we are, Americans, or whoever. But that was the history of this. They were originally had Labor Day floats. It was interesting because the first actual Labor Day was in 1885 in Oregon by law. And they had like little floats, as you could see in the picture next to me, to it becoming a national holiday and being in 23 more states 10 years later in 1894. There's a debate over who founded Labor Day. Was it Mr. McGuire, or like Peter McGuire back in 1882? The general secretary to the Brotherhood of a Carpenter, joins the co-founder of the American Federal Labor's Union, suggested doing a day for a general holiday for laboring. But then there's also Mr. Matthew McGuire, the later secretary of the local 334 of the International Association of Machinists in Paterson, New Jersey, who proposed the holiday in 1882 as well, while serving as secretary of Central Labor Union in New York. So there's debates over who even founded the holiday. Pretty interesting. The first Labor Day was actually held September 5th, 1882, and then held in New York City at the Labor Center in Grand New York City on Labor Day, September 5th, 1883. By 1894, there were 23 more states adapted to it, and by June 28th, 1894, the president, Grover Cleveland, signed a law making the first Monday of September each year a national holiday. Lots more goes into this, and there's more research that was there, but don't worry, I'm going to share the link with everybody when I post this, so that'll be there too. So that's interesting to me. It's all these history, it's all these facts about what's going on with Labor Day, how it came about, and how the pride behind it and all this. But then it turns into, we don't know who actually came up with it, which is not a big deal. It's really not. But it's where it originated from and why other states didn't adapt to it. But it's okay. Everything takes time. But then there's the thing that, you ever done something that you don't understand what you did? Like, you ever say something that you didn't know what it exactly meant, but you knew it sounded good in that moment? Why don't we wear white after Labor Day? I was asked that today, and I had to be honest, I didn't ever think of that. It's just something I've always been told on TV. The thing is, I started looking into it, And I found an article going from just a few weeks ago from Better Homes and Gardens website, as you can see on the screen, and the history behind the no white after Labor Day rule. What's interesting about this, other than all the pop-ups that Better Home and Gardens has coming on here, is the explanation. Oh, I think I passed it. That, there we go. Labor Day represents the end of summer. A rule was established that you shouldn't wear white after Labor Day if you did not have the money to take the fall and winter vacations. So it is a rule. If you didn't go on 2 vacations that last year, the fall and the winter one, that means this would be your fall one, and then you go at the end of the winter because you're going into spring and summer. If you didn't get to do that, you don't get to wear white after Labor Day. Why? It was also used to identify those who need to work and those who didn't. So you ever tell anybody, hey, you can't wear white after Labor Day? Well, guess what? You're telling them that they're lower class than you. You're telling them that they're not worthy of you, and that those who didn't wear white could wear white because it wouldn't get dirty. And that's why the people with money are representing, saying they went away for 2 holidays and you need to keep working to get to their level. So this holiday thing that came about as originally something to be able to give to the people to represent pride in our country, prosperity and well-being for one another, according to a government website, the comments that come about it are why we don't wear white after Labor Day. You ever say something you regret, not realizing what the impacts were? Personally, I am going to wear white after Labor Day. I didn't go on any vacations this year. I just want to make sure that everybody isn't classified by the amount of money they have in their bank account. I just want people to be treated the same. You know, like our original 1885, when the original adapters of this all wanted to be prosperity and well-being for all Americans, to represent our strength. Strength in what?